Here's the other thing about this Ariana situation, right? And I don't see enough people talking about this. When we have these conversations about what's going on, if it is an eating disorder, and I'm not saying it is, it may not be an eating disorder. My biggest problem in the whole thing is that something's clearly wrong, and they're telling people that this is healthy and that this is what a healthy person looks like, which is just absurd. But anytime we have these conversations, there's a lot of her enablers that come into the comments and say, well, you can't stop someone with ED. There's nothing anyone could do about it. You're talking about somebody who's basically been a celebrity her whole life, right? Like, she's basically been in the entertainment industry her entire life. She's had people catering to her entire life. So if the people around her wanted to stop this, they could just step back and be like, I'm not posting on your Instagram. I'm not going to schedule anything for you. I'm, as your manager, that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to do this. She has so many people around her that are the machine that runs, right? She shows up in front of you in Japan because like 150 different people behind her made her show up there or enabled her to show up there in Japan, and they did the marketing for it, and they signed contracts for it, and they paid money for it, and they did the social media, like all of that stuff. There's so many people involved. All of those people could throw their hands up and be like, no, absolutely not. We're not going to enable you in this until you go and get help. They could do that. And you know what would happen? She might go off and end up on the streets of LA with her eating disorder. She might. But what would probably happen is that she'd probably start getting some help. Because I guarantee you, money and fame as a motivator for someone who's been a celebrity their whole entire life and who's been in the public eye and earned a ton of money from it, that's huge. Her career would stop until she got some help. If the people around her went, we're not going to enable this. But they're not doing that. It's really not that different than all the enabling we saw around P. Diddy. Everyone who was just happy to keep their mouth shut as long as they kept getting money. And it's the same thing here. People who are just going to keep getting money until that girl's in the ground. Absolutely insane. I feel bad for her, but I'm also angry at her. But really angry at the people around her that were doing this again.